Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new show, a collaboration between me, Dawn, and Bozilla here. Freedom Fighters is what we are calling it. We hope that you enjoy it. We have two topics that we want to talk about tonight, one of them being the inmate that was stabbed to death, a young man in Alabama. It seems to us that a lot of the correctional staff, of course, they don't take responsibility for the stuff that they do, but, us being incarcerated, we know the insides, we've seen what really happens, and a lot of the correctional officers will put rival gangs and people that they know that just don't like each other, they don't even really have to be in a gang, together in solitary, and to fight to the death, and I've seen officers actually take bids on it, like start a pool.
Right, right, and that you know what, and I've seen that too, because I was ex-inmate and also an ex-CO, so I've seen that. I've seen people bring in. They know they have some guys at another prison, and they friends with the COs over, so they make them try to work themselves down to get to a minimum camp where we were at, so they can fight the other people that are in this camp. They're supposed to be the tough guys, and that's a bid, and that's a fight, and that's what they want. And sometimes I look at it, so this is not UFC. This is people's lives you're messing with, because usually somebody might end up getting stabbed or get beat up so bad that they get shipped out because they have to go to the hospital. And you're right. You're exactly right. That's what they do.
Yeah. I've seen it a lot. I remember one time, people say that there's a lot of differences between female prisons and male prisons, and I'm sure as the show goes on, we can figure those differences out between us.
Right.
But I know in the female prison that it's pretty brutal for women. I mean, you have a lot of hardcore women in it that they have nothing to lose. They feel like they're at rock bottom. They put the lifers with the people that are doing a year and a day.
Right, right. And that doesn't make any sense either. I know I've seen some women prisons, and I'm from Ohio, so I've seen women prisons in Ohio. We had the thrill killers, as they would call. They were around this time of year, Christmas, killing people, and it was two or three women and two guys, and the two women got life, natural life, and the guy got death, and he died. They executed him. But those two, there was one of the women was the leader. I always thought it was the guy that I went to school with. I thought he was a leader, but it ended up being the girl was the leader.
Right.
And I didn't know she worked at McDonald's, and my wife knew her. And she was like, I would never even stop. Right. A mastermind, McDonald's, French fries, in a shank. So
she is flipping fries during the day and plotting to kill people at night, like.
Exactly. So, like I say,
know.
No, you never know. I hear, like you just said, I hear people say, male prisons is worse. I've never been in a women's prison, but I've heard stories, and I heard women prisons are just as bad, or maybe a little worse. Some of them.
Yeah, I've heard that. Well, here in Florida, we have the biggest female prison in the world. It's called Low Correctional, and I did a lot of time there. And when I tell you, it's ruthless. It's pretty ruthless. Like, there's just some people that they put the crazy people with mental issues like right next to you. They don't care.
Wow.
And I've seen a lot of people killed by inmates. I've seen people killed by guards. But like this kid in Alabama, he was stabbed multiple times and he died. He didn't have a life sentence. But I mean, we don't really have any proof that there was staff involved.
Right.
But we automatically believe that there is because we have been in that environment. And it's so common now. Like, and then you have all these people that have died, and the death toll in the prisons has been rising every year. And they don't take responsibility for none of it. Like, if you look up inmates that died on the internet, it's going to come up with, a correctional officer died, a correctional officer died. Like, they don't really report it. But when you get to the report after searching diligently, because they make you search for it, you will see the inmates that died, and it all says natural or still pending or investigation pending. There's no accountability. like you mean to tell me that not one inmate has died from staff involvement when I know that's the lie?
Yeah, we all know that. I know that. Like I said, I was a CO, and I've seen some COs do things that I did not want to be part of, and that's why I left. One reason why I left is because other than getting sick, I've had, like I said, I told people on another show, I had my tires slashed, I had windshields cracked, antennas broken, windshield wipers broke, and that's because I wouldn't do what they thought I should do, want to be part of the good old boys club. So, because, you know, my thing is this, I have to go, you guys might not live in the city. I live in the city, so there's a good opportunity that I might run into these guys on the outside when I get out, when they get out. So I don't want to run into nobody that I have done bad, dirty to. Because you're not there. I don't have my little buzzer. But I don't have a little buzzer to call for backup. Right, that's right.
Right, and then in the street they gonna be like, oh, you ain't so tough now, and we know where your family lives, and it creates a whole epidemic of danger.
That's right.
Yeah, you know, I knew a lot of guards that were in there that were decent. They did treat us like we were human, but when it came down to the point where they couldn't interfere with the ones that were treating us like shit.
That's right.
They would just turn a blind eye because it's their job, and they don't want the conflict with the other officers. And a lot of the ones that corrupt were the higher ups with the more authority.
Yeah, and you know what? And this is kind of jumping off the subject a little bit, but we also had women at one time were in our pods on one side, and we had men on the other side, and we had male guards with the women. So you know where that was about to go,
right?
And have relationships with these women, women inmates, and they get pregnant. How do you get pregnant? How do you get pregnant by two women? Come on now. Nobody's dumb. Nobody's
I've seen that a lot.
And none of the guards get in trouble. They just say that, he moved to another prison. Then he moved to another prison. They moved to another prison.
Yeah.
Or she got shipped to another prison. So, you know, come on now.
They just separated. And you know what? It's funny that you bring that up because there was a psychiatrist doctor at Hernando Correctional here that was actually having sex with the female inmates and giving them psychotropic medicine as a reward to zombify them so they don't have to feel. And if that is not an abuse of authority and trust, I don't know what is. Well, actually, it can get worse because at Lowell Correctional, there was a chaplain, a male chaplain, that was engaging in sexual activities with the inmates as well. So, I mean, it's not just the correctional guard.
Right.
It's the staff. It's the psych doctors, the chaplains, I actually know of women that came in for educational, like teachers, that was having sex with women inmates. So even the lesbian, aspect of it was not inside the gate, but coming from outside the gate.
Outside the gate, right.
Yeah.
Then I've had the female COs have sex with the male COs.
Oh,
but they get fired. But they get fired or get arrested. And that's a whole other subject, too. And that's not right. If the men do it, then why don't they get arrested? But the women do it, they get arrested. That doesn't make sense to me.
Right. It's a whole equality prospect,
of course.
which is indeed a whole nother road. But the pool, I want to get back to the betting.
Okay, yeah.
In the cell, I remember this officer said to this one girl, she actually slept 2 bunks to my left, and the officer came in and told her he was going to make sure she never made it home.
Damn.
Because she was excited. She only had about 2 weeks left to her EOS date, and for those who don't know what an EOS date, that's the end of sentence. So she was excited because she had been there for 7 years, so who wouldn't be?
Right. That's right.
But this officer was actually having sex with another inmate who was this girl's enemy, and I guess he had feelings for her and was willing to, risk everything for this girl. And he actually put her in confinement about 4 days before she was supposed to go home. And she never made it out of confinement. She never made it home.
Oh, man. Was she commit suicide or something like that? Or they say she committed suicide?
Said. That is
right,
that's what is said.
Right.
But, I mean, me and a few other inmates heard the officer threaten her, and then they took her to confinement for nothing. They said it was for a 3-way call, and that she was a repeat offender. But the funny thing is, this lady ain't used the phone.
Right.
Like, ever. So we're like, call bullshit. But what can we do?
Exactly.
We can't do nothing, or we going to go down there with her.
That's right.
So we sit around and we drink our little instant coffee that we have the luxury of purchasing for $8 for a $1 can on Canteen, and we talk about what we wish we could have done, what we think happened, and how it sucks. Yep. But there's absolutely nothing that we could have done about it.
And, and there's something got to be done about that type of stuff, because there should be, I know people say we're crazy for saying this. I've always thought if you had some inmates that were inside and they were, good inmates, not all of us were good, but what I'm saying is have somebody who can be someone who's trustworthy, have their own type of little board that when stuff like that happens, that they'll be able to go to the upper-ups in the administration of the COs or the wardens and stuff like that, and talk to them about this is what's going on, like a committee.
Yeah,
and,
that would be good.
Like that. That's
but
something, but exactly, it'll never happen.
It won't, because once you're in there, you're nothing but a number to them.
That's right.
And they don't give a damn about your opinion. They don't give a damn about your feelings. And I laugh because it would be great, but it would never happen.
No, we know it would never happen. That was just me trying to say something. But
let me tell you, when I tried to speak up about the psychiatrist, they shipped me to Broward County in Miami, where death row is, and put me with the mental hospital there that they had in the prison, and told me I was crazy.
It's not funny. It's not funny, but it's funny.
Oh, God.
Exactly.
I could tell you
because
some
you knew too much. Because you knew too much. That's
and
what
I was
that was
speaking out. I was vocal.
That's
so
exactly
I was like, because I had psyched out one morning because I thought I was being smart. And they was having a baseball game. They actually had a church coming in to play us inmates. So I was like, I got to see this, right? But I work public works, which means I leave at like 5:30 in the morning to go to the Department of Transportation outside of prison. Well, I wanted to see this baseball game, so I was trying to get off of work. You can't really just call in sick in prison.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
So I declared a psychological emergency, which means I need to talk to a shrink, and I need to talk to one right now. And then I figured by the time that I got done, I would have missed my little work van, and I would have been in for the day.
Right.
Which I have seen other people do, and it was successful. However, the luck of the Irish, nobody said it was any good.
Right.
So I declared a psychological emergency, and they tried to send me to the doctor that was known for having sex with the inmates and giving them psychotropic medicines instead of mine, because mine was not there that day. So I said, ain't no way in hell I am going to see this man that gets head from the inmates. And very vocal, very vulgar. And I'm like, I can't do it. Because if he try me, I'm going to end up in lock. I'm going to get a new charge. And I was speaking loud where other officers could hear me, other inmates, and it was accusations that they did not want spoken out loud, even though they knew about it.
Right.
So they cuffed me and sent me on a different bus to a different prison with a bunch of people that weren't in their right mind.
And you still didn't get to see the game.
I didn't get to see the game. I don't even know who won.
It's not funny though, but it was a good try. A good try.
Yeah, I tried.
It was that.
It didn't win.
That's all that matters. You tried. Wow.
It went the wrong way.
Real quick.
Yeah, but what was funny is after I had talked to the psychiatrist doctor, and they were like, you know what, you don't belong here. You're insane mind. They sent me back because that was my assigned compound. So they sent me back. A week after they sent me back, you know, this man got arrested and walked off the campus for receiving oral sex from an inmate who wore a wire.
Ooh.
And I said, oh, but I'm crazy.
Right. and that's a sexual battery charge, a person of trust.
Mm-hmm. If you look it up, his name is, you can look it up, you can go, his name is Dr. Poppy from Hernando Correctional. And when you look it up, there's a video of him, and he's a very cocky son of a bitch. He looks at the camera and was like, God bless America.
Wow.
That's what he said.
Yeah, I bet you are now.
Right. Right. So I was, wow.
But you know what? You did what somebody would do for their, as you say, because, you know, we consider each other brothers and sisters only on the inside, because we all we got. And no matter, sometimes we get in fights and don't like each other, but we're not gonna let nobody from a CO or somebody like that abuse one of us.
Right.
That wasn't go down. But you know, you did a good deed there, trying to you know, speak up for her or whatever like that. And you know, but you know how that stuff goes. When you start talking too much, they're gonna find a way to roll you out.
Oh yeah, they do. I've seen it happen a lot. And you know, God bless the family of this young man that was stabbed to death.
Right.
I really do hope that there was no foul play, and that it would happen fast, because I hate to think of anybody suffering. But violence inside the prisons is extremely getting worse every day, and there's got to be some kind of foul play involved, because they're obviously not thinking about the safety. Maybe, you know, like there's been some talk from like Melissa and Debbie from CBI that maybe they should separate violent from nonviolent offenders. Which is a thought. I doubt that will happen either. But it's definitely something that we need to look into, and we need to keep the statistics up and look at past stories to find out, you know, if there's anything that we can put together, like a paper that shows the inconsistency of and the danger that our family and loved ones are being put in when they're incarcerated, and try to get something going to make some kind of changes. I mean, we need major changes, but we have to start somewhere.
You're right, but you know, and that's the problem. Are people gonna listen? No. You know, people won't listen, like you said, until it's their loved one who just got killed.
It is so hard to get people mad, and we're mad because we either experienced it or we know somebody that we love is experienced and they're sharing their story with us. But it is damn near impossible to get people who are not affected to give a damn, and that is why we're having such a hard time.
That's right. That's right. You know, I got people that belong to my church, and I'm not going to say any names of my church, because I know we're going to put on Facebook and all that type of stuff, and they're on there. And that they look at me crazy because what I do or what I try to do. And a lot of them don't even know that I was an ex-inmate.
Right.
I don't, you know, and I never ever like to shadow that, because that's a part of my life, that's a part of my testimony that I like to talk about. And I don't feel comfortable enough to go out in front and say that to them, because they too judgmental. And how I know that for a fact, I've heard them say it. I can never, ever, ever have an ex-inmate in here with me.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I'm saying, yet you are supposed to be Christian. Don't get me wrong. I love my religion. I love God. Don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting there bad after them. But certain ones, you got to be careful what you say around people, because you never know what they've been through.
Right.
For you to sit there and say that, and I'm an ex-inmate, you know how it makes me feel? That makes me feel like I can't trust you.
Right. And like you're automatically judged, and they don't know the story.
Exactly. Automatically judged. Like I did something bad. Okay, yes, I must have did something bad to be in prison. Not all the way bad for what they said.
Which in the Christian belief it says, "Judge not, lest you be judged," and take the speck out of your own eye before you look at the other people's speck in their eye.
Right.
And
That's
you know, I get a lot of negativity from Christian people.
Of course you do. I know you do. I know you do. I know you do. I said because my people that I grew up with, they never did judge me. And these are people that I actually went to school with, and some of them are higher up in education and great careers and stuff like that. But you know what? They never have dogged me. I always say, Bobo, what's going on, man? How you feeling? How you doing? How you whatever? No, whatever I want. I got out of jail. They was like, man, he said, what you need? I got you. And that's what I'm talking about. But my church people, nose goes up in the air. Or they tell my wife, I don't know how you did it. You stuck by him all this time. I don't know how you did it. How she did it because she loved me. And she knows that, of course, I made a mistake. We all make mistakes.
Right.
Only person who can judge me really is God, and He doesn't do that. So who are you?
Right. I actually had a discussion with a pastor. And he said that he would not want anybody being released from prison to live next door to him. And I said, well, you wouldn't want it. You're not going to understand until you're affected. And I hope to God you don't understand. Because I have so many people that come to me that say, Dawn, I was uppity. I didn't care. When I seen people getting arrested on live PD and cops, I'd be like, yay, they're doing a great job. They're taking out the trash. They knew nothing about plea bargains. They knew nothing about over-sentencing. They knew nothing about prison labor. They knew nothing until they were personally affected. And
that's right.
And then, once they're personally affected, they want to say, Dawn, can you help me? But just 3 months ago, you were judging me and what I was doing. And I pray that people don't get affected to understand. I pray that we can get people to listen and prove that this is an epidemic. We have so many businesses. It's a big business. That's all it is.
It is.
They create a demand for inmates. They need bodies to work for them. In the Civil War ended slavery, right?
Right.
It didn't.
No, I know.
It didn't. And that's what they tend to believe. But all they did was change the name, and the name they changed it to was a war on drugs.
Right. That's exactly what they've done.
Right. So what they did is they take the drugs into the targeted communities, and we can say targeted, or we can keep it 100% real and say minority, dark-skinned, black, and brown communities. And they bring the drugs there, and they give it to them.
Right.
They make sure that it's delivered to the right place so that they can target these people, collect them, and act like they're doing a justice by locking these people up for years. But they also make it to where selling drugs becomes their only way out. They make jobs hard to get. Jobs are hard to obtain. They give them the poorest level of education possible. I had one woman who used a different address so that her kid could get the same education as another child that was not in the community, and they sentenced her to 5 years in prison for doing that, for stealing in education because she wanted what was best for her child.
I saw something on Facebook, and sometimes you got to take that with a grain of salt also, that they said that somebody went to prison, a black woman, for voting, registering to vote.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Just got out of prison or something like that. She's registering to vote, and she went to jail.
Yeah, and we have to be educated on what the laws are because they change every day. So please, everybody, look up. It is known that the average American breaks 14 laws on a day and don't know. They make so many laws and they change them so much that you are not aware when you're breaking a law, so they can arrest anybody they want to at any time.
That's right. You got to stay woke. That's right. Because I didn't know and I know because I came from Ohio. I got out of prison, and I voted. As soon as I got out, I could vote. I know there's still places here. I think there's, in North Carolina is one place that you cannot be a felon and vote.
Yeah, all the state of Florida, you couldn't be a felon. We just put it on the ballot. I just got my voting rights back this past election, and I just went last week and put in my paper. And that's the first time I've been able to vote in my life. Will be the next election.
And you know what? Congratulations on that, and please vote. I know you will, but still, that's crazy.
Will. I mean, I have feelings that, they do what they want to with the vote anyway, but I'm still going to vote just in case. And I tell people, no, if you sit here and you be like, well, they're going to do what they want anyway. Mm-hmm. What if they don't? What if your voice really does matter? All it does is take a little minute to go in there and fill out the paper. So just in case, better safe than sorry, just go ahead and put in the damn vote.
Mm-hmm. It's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous that it just seems like when you become an inmate, you are a statistic now. So now you fall in the category of we're the low life of society.
Right.
And we're not. Some of us are good people. Some of us got kids, and we're trying to get them through school. Like my daughter, she's in college, so I've been messed, so I don't work. So I'm on SSI, but I still try to hustle to make sure she has what she needs to go to school. I don't do an illegal hustle, but it's just a simple fact that there's people who get out and can't get a job because you got a felony.
Right, can't get a good place to live.
Can't get a good place to live.
But that's because they want you to get out, not be able to get a good job, not be able to get a good place to live, so that you come right back and you work for them for free.
That's right. That's exactly what it is.
They create a revolving door. And I know a lot of you, if you don't know, look up ALEC, look up CCA, Correctional Associations. These people, they're creating a demand. And we have so many companies that use prison labor that it is virtually impossible for even I to not support prison labor, because I would not be able to go shopping. That's how many businesses use prison labor.
I always, when you're reading, you got to read some of those things off of the companies that still or use it or say they don't, but they do.
Oh yeah. Well, let's start with Victoria's Secrets. What we're going to do is, in the 1990s, Victoria's Secrets used prison labor to sew clothes, inspiring a storyline in season 3 of Orange is the New Black.
I remember that.
If anybody remembers watches Orange is the New Black, there was one where this company comes in and they start sewing lingerie in Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
They were mocking.
That's right.
Yep, they were mocking and letting us know, there's always secret codes, but they were letting us know that's Victoria's Secret.
Mm-hmm.
And the prisoners made 45 cents to sew a $90 piece of lingerie.
Wow.
45 cents. And now, mind you, the ramen noodle soups that they get are 50 cents.
That's right. So you can't buy one of them.
Right. Right. Like they slapping heads. Like, you got Whole Foods Market.
Mm-hmm.
Until 2015, Whole Foods sold goat cheese and tilapia from companies that use prison labor, paying pennies on the dollar in wages. After pushback from consumers, the company stopped selling products that use inmate labor. So they did. People had a fit about it. I'm sure it was people like us. So they stopped. And that was 2015. So I think Whole Foods is okay now. But one of the biggest markets that people use is Walmart.
That one surprised me when you said that one.
Walmart says it won't sell products made with prison labor, but the company still contracts companies that use inmate labor to dispose of customer returns and access inventory. So they're not going to do it under their name,
but they'll give it to somebody else.
But they're going to hire subcontractors to do it for them. That way they're not directly
involved,
targeted.
Right.
But we now know. So,
right.
Microsoft.
Wow.
Right. Microsoft hired Washington State prisoners to package software and mouses. And they said they don't see that as a negative thing. And this was in the 90s. I'm not sure if they do it now or not. We'll try to get a more updated list, but this is just the history of it and how long it's been. Starbucks has used prison labor to package coffee sold in its stores. Prisoners may earn as little as 23 cents an hour, meaning that they might make less than $500 for an entire year of full-time work. For Starbucks. And Starbucks is doesn't Magic Johnson own a part of that?
Yes, he does.
So we can't.
It gets you know, the one that really surprised me, the one using other than Walmart, was Nintendo.
Oh yeah, and that hurt me.
Yeah, because I love Nintendo. I was a Mario man back in the day.
Yeah. Do 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 do.
Yep. I love Nintendo.
Yeah, I do too.
Wow.
I still have one.
You know, I bet you, like I said, I got to do a little bit more research and stuff like that. I know you brought a lot of stuff to my eyesight on those because I did not know. So I know some of them, but I didn't know all of the ones you said. Like I knew Starbucks. I remember that one, hearing that one. But as I remember, I love the Orange is the New Black. But I do remember the episode when they were doing that, and you know what? That makes complete sense. It makes complete sense. They were
which you know they did that too with the I can't remember which one. Sterling. They did a with the inmate Poosley had died because the officer put her on the ground. She kept saying, "I can't breathe, I can't breathe," and he didn't get off of her, and she ended up dying. Like they mimic real world stuff, but they just put it in their script to bring attention to people to let them know this is for real. This is more than just a show.
Yeah, right. This is what's going on now. That's right.
BP, after the Deepwater Horizon explosion in 2010, which we all know, hired Louisiana prison inmates to clean up the oil spill, and they weren't paid at all.
Damn, I didn't even know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, but that reminds me, when reading that, is the fires in California.
Yep, that's right.
Half the people out there are inmates.
I saw that on PlayStation. I'm sorry. Saw that on Facebook too. I said the inmates got the fire. But see, I've heard that before as far as them. That's part of a job that the prisoners have. But see, here's my thing with that. Once they get out, they're not going to be able to go get a job at a fire department.
Nope, they made that very clear. We all know that. But they're going to be, experienced. They're going to be trained.
That's right.
And it won't matter.
But it won't matter. But you're putting your life on the line, fighting the fire.
Right. Oh,
you're not getting paid
what?
For it.
Actually,
what's that?
When I was incarcerated, 9/11 happened.
Okay.
Do you know when they were talking about, going to war and everything like that, that they were passing around papers to us to ask us if we wanted to go?
Wow. I'm not surprised.
Well, you can't go to the Army or anything if you have a felony. But they wanted us to go and fight because they didn't give a damn if we died.
That's right, because if you died, oh, well, you weren't there.
Yeah, we weren't
you
there.
Weren't there.
They wouldn't even know we were there.
That's right. The media will never know. We won't, on personal, your people won't even know. They'll probably say that you died of natural causes in prison.
Right. Or you can't come visit her because she's in confinement.
Exactly.
Meanwhile, you're in Saudi Arabia with a helmet and a machine gun and no experience.
Exactly. Running across the desert.
You'd be so nervous, you just trigger happy and shoot everybody.
Right.
Like, oh man, how can they even do that? AT&T had inmates to man its call centers. That was amazing to me.
I remember, but you know what? I remember when that was happening. I saw that in the newspaper.
So I'm thinking how many times a telemarketer has called somebody from a prison. Like now when I get a call from a telemarketer, I ask them, I'm like, are you in prison?
That's not funny.
But it could be.
Yeah,
and then I can be like, hey, if you're in prison, keep this number. And the next time you
Right.
come to your little work that don't pay nothing, call me and we'll do a show.
Ooh.
Where you can
Yeah,
tell
why
me
not?
what's going on.
That's right. Keep it real. Let everybody know.
Yeah. Let everybody know what you're doing and what they're paying you and how they treat you. How's the food?
Ugh.
How's the health care?
Don't talk about the food. We ain't gonna do that.
Here's a big one. Target.
Oh, Target?
Yeah.
Target.
Target.
Right,
Target. Target. In 2000, Target used suppliers that rely on prison labor. Earlier in the 90s, big companies like AT&T, Microsoft hired inmates. We discussed that. But most backed away after their arrangements were exposed. So at least we do know that when they're exposed that they back away. So we should be exposing the ones that are still doing it.
Right. Man, Target. You know, we just did some Christmas shopping there, and I'm gonna have a look on it when I go in there. I'm saying, hey, you got some inmates in here working? Can you give an inmate a job when they get out?
Right.
I don't want to know that.
And that's funny because most of the corporations that are
not felony friendly.
They won't hire them, right?
No, they won't.
They're good enough while they're not in their face, but they don't want to deal with you in person. Dell Computers, prison labor in 2003. Eddie Bauer.
And how expensive their stuff is, really?
Right, I know they were paying like 8 cents.
Now, here's one that I know, I wonder if they do. I've never, and this is one I need to look up, some of the airlines. I know I start seeing some airlines that were hiring felons.
You know what? I heard that, and that was pretty shocking to me because of the 9/11 and the high security in the airports and stuff. I figured they'd be the last people.
Right. I guess they said, well, you know, you're not gonna bring nothing on the plane because you're not gonna do nothing crazy. I guess that's what they're saying. But I was shocked too when I saw that. Yeah, they hire felons.
Yeah, I think it was American Airlines, or maybe Delta, but it was a big one.
It was one of the big ones. You're right. It was one of the big ones. It wasn't Southwest, nobody like that, but it was like Delta, United.
What you saying about Southwest?
No, I fly. That's all I fly is Southwest if I fly somewhere.
The Southwest is pretty big, but
yeah.
I think we have one here that's called like Allegiant or something. That's
really
I've
seen that one. I don't know what they do.
Yeah.
But like I said, I fly Southwest. If I have to fly somewhere, I fly Southwest. So
I've tried Southwest, but
I had no problem flying Southwest.
But yeah, I was surprised.
Right, I was too when I saw that. I couldn't believe it. But you know what? Then that's good though. If it is what they say they're doing, hiring felons, that's good because somebody's giving them a chance. Right,
but then you're gonna have a lot of the people that are going to say, "Well, I'm not gonna fly with you if you hiring felons." Exactly. Like, we'll probably have some people that come on the show and be like, "You got to be kidding me." That listen to us and be like, "I'm never going to fly with them again. My safety is at risk. They might kill me." They automatically start thinking the worst about these people that probably went in there for having a dime bag of marijuana.
Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're not hiring, like, the people who are major-time drug dealers. I'm not saying that, but, you know. I'm not saying they're not hiring rapists and murderers and stuff like that.
Right, but you know, people don't think about that. They automatically they categorize a felon as a felon.
Right. That's
it
right.
Don't
what
matter.
Did you do? That's right. That's right.
They don't ask. If you're a felon, you're a felon. So that means that person carrying a dime bag of weed is cooped up and put in the same hand as the guy that murdered 10 people.
That's right. Oh, my God.
And they're going to be treated exactly alike.
The same way. Exactly.
All he wanted to do was smoke a joint, relax, and eat a turkey sandwich. He went to jail, and then this guy, Charlie Manson, they're equivalent now because they have the same title.
Oh, yeah. And were you guys in the same prison? What? But we're in the same prison? No. You're right. I heard that before too. They said because we had some killers up in Dayton, Ohio, where I was from. And when I went to jail, they said, "Were you in prison with so and so?" Look, man, I was on minimum. I was on minimum security. He's in max or closed. So no, I wasn't in there with him. I don't even know where he's at. I don't even know him like that.
Right.
Just because I was a prisoner, just because I was a felon, just like what you just said. It goes back to that. We all the same people.
Yeah, you're treated exactly the same.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And I wanted to bring up a topic that Jenny had sent me that she's dealing with now. It's actually kind of interesting. I'm trying to pull it up. We have a little chat group with, let's see, they call it Sisters Against the System, a chat group. So I asked her if there's anything that she wanted me to bring up, and she said yes. Let me just read this to you. I found it very interesting. The Pennsylvania DOC twice in the last week said over the loudspeaker that they were declaring a state of emergency and all prisoners had to return to their cells. She said, now as I know it, only the governor can call a state of emergency.
That's it. That's the only person who can call that.
So they're not getting them any explanation or anything, just go back to your cell, we're declaring a state of emergency. Now, I don't know if they're using that as code as, trying to be funny or what, but that would be a reason to raise panic.
Yeah, it would be, because you're right, because that doesn't happen. They can lock it down. They can lock it down, but you can't say state of emergency. That's a panic.
Right. You're like, okay, what's going on? And they give you no reason, so then you get people that are high tension, stressed out, want to know, and then that causes more fights, more attitudes, more, and then the whole lockdown. So, but they're not giving it any explanation. So, but they also have this thing there where they're not giving out direct mail. They're actually taking pictures of the mail and sending the inmates pictures of their mail.
See, I've heard they were doing that. I want to say down in Florida. They're doing that here in North Carolina. That you don't get your mail, but you run copies of the pictures and run copies of the mail, and that's what you get. You don't get the actual mail that somebody sent you.
Right, which is ridiculous, but I mean, it would keep down with the whole people putting drugs behind the stamp, people spraying perfume on the, so it would cut down on that. But the big problem is the pictures that they're sending are not visual. They can't be seen. They're not accurate. Like, they're blurry, and they can't even read their mail. So now, because the pictures are giving them, they can't read it. They can't make out what it is. Which is just so disrespectful and rude.
It is. And it's something, one of the things that they say that that's one inmate's rights is you're supposed to get your mail.
Right. It's a privilege. It's your right.
And good luck with that.
Yeah, but they don't care about your rights. They'll be like, we gave it to them. Well, we gave it to them.
That's right.
And that makes it impossible for these people to communicate with their family. They don't know anything that's going on with their family. They know that their family's writing them. But they don't know what their family's saying.
You think about that. They calling and say it was a state of emergency, so we're locking everything down. What about the people who want to get a hold of their family members, like their kids, their parents, their mother and father? State of emergency, you're thinking war.
Right.
Just something bad and happen, really, really bad, that's caused everything to be evacuated.
You're thinking like 9/11.
Yeah, you think, okay, I can't even get a hold of my parents, or I'm getting a hold of my loved ones. What is going on?
Right.
And like you said, that's stress there. There we go, stress. Yeah. Wow.
And then, she brought up another thing, and I think we're gonna have to talk about this in detail. We don't have a lot of time now, but I really want to give this the attention that it needs. And
no problem.
It's a gentleman, she says, so I'm wondering if these emergency lockdowns are when, this gentleman is receiving his deliveries because it's been once a week. The other charges that he's under is for misappropriation of funds. A person that worked there was caught embezzling funds out of inmates' general welfare fund. He supposedly said that he paid $400 for a church organization to come in and play basketball with the inmates, when the documentation shows that he only paid $200. Apparently, she has documentations to back all of this up. So that is something I definitely want to get into. And the other thing, of course, cases like this gentleman that, like Kathleen McKinnon has now gone to prison, but there are still inmates incarcerated for 5 or more years after the illegal sentences that she gave them. So you have this lady that has been charged for giving out illegal sentences, providing falsified documentation, Pennsylvania.
That's Lord.
And she's gone to prison for falsifying documentations on people, over sentencing, and those people are still sitting in prison. Why?
That's something that needs to be discussed. You're right.
Right.
That's so true.
So we're going to get into that. I'll send you a link. I'll send you the link to both of those, and maybe we can get Jenny Rutt. I know you're going to listen to this, so I'm going to want you on the next show so that you can help us, because you are the inside person for Pennsylvania. So we're going to need you as a guest. So just let us know when you're available to share that. And is there anything else on your mind that you just want to say?
Nah, I think we covered it all, and it was a great show. I thank you for having me on, and thank you. Let's do this, and let's do it right, and let's fight for these people. That's what we're supposed to be doing. Freedom fighters. That's what we got to do. Freedom fighters. That's right.
Okay, so next time you pick the topics, and we'll just both pick one topic. How about that? And then we'll just meet once a week.
Yes, ma'am. Now we can do it.
All right, and then we'll just keep trending. We got a lot of people, and I want to thank everybody that's been supporting me and really supportive. And those same people that support me support you and brought us together, and I thank them for that too.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't fake for us. It was fake to bring us together like this, because I never would have thought about this until you brought that up, and I said, let's do a show. And you brought the name up. Okay, let's do it.
Right. And for anybody that is on Urban Talks that does follow and know me, you can tell them where they can find you on Facebook, because he does a lot of Facebook Lives that speak on this, and he has guests that come on to his Facebook Lives that is very informational. And I would recommend that if you are big on prison reform and you enjoy this, that you find him on Facebook and you connect with him to catch his lives.
Yeah, look me up, Stephen Bobo, Steven Bobo, at on Facebook. You can find me on there. I'm on North Carolina Prison Watch, North Carolina, and U.S. Prison Watch, North Carolina, and I also have U.S. Prison Watch, Ohio, U.S. Prison Watch. I got all kinds of states. So first you find me on, like I said, Stephen Bobo on Facebook.
Okay.
And on there you find me. I will look you up, and we'll do it. I will bring you in, and we can talk about some things.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Everything needs to be discussed, and we're going to discuss it. So any topic that you have, any information that you want to have, send it to one of us, and we will make sure that it gets talked about, because the news ain't going to do it.
Exactly.
So y'all have a good night. Thank you for listening. Much love.
Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. And
All
stay
right.
woke, y'all.